Welcome back to Broken Bobby's transformation page. In the late 80s, I became involved with drugs and would eventually become part of that lifestyle of trafficking, addiction, and violence. Over the next 20 years, I would be in and out of jail and prison. If you're thinking about trying something or you're dealing with addiction, your life don't need to go down the same path mine did. I hurt a lot of people, both physically and emotionally. These are my stories of how I transformed my life, and you can too. Let's get. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see by the title, this is Should Lifers Get Parole? In California prison, currently, there are approximately 26,000 inmates serving a life sentence. Now, there's only 7 other states in the U.S. that even have a population of 26,000 inmates, which is kind of mind-blowing. So let's get into this. Before we do, though, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, smash that like button, drop a comment, share the video. It really helps us to grow. We're quickly approaching 1,300 subs, and I thank you guys for that. Also, hit that notification bell so that anytime I go live or I drop a new video, you will be alerted. So let's get into this. Prior to 2009, it was very unlikely if you had a life sentence or some variation of a life sentence. And what I mean by that is there's LWOP, which is life without parole. And then there is 15 to life, 20 to life, 50 to life, whatever it may be. If you had life involved in your sentence, you weren't going home prior to that. Eventually, there would be a court decision in regards to the overcrowding situation in the California prisons. And that was part of why they started actually finding people suitable, and the governor started approving, because once the parole board finds you suitable, it takes about 6 months for you to get out. And the reason it takes so long is because it's got to be sent to the governor, and the governor can either approve it or deny it based on the circumstances. So how did we get to this point where there are so many lifers in the California prison system? Well, on March 7th, 1994, they came up with the 3 strikes law. And basically the way that was designed was, if you had 3 violent felonies, then you would get 25 to life. And, that ended up getting twisted and distorted to where if you were a 2-striker, and there was a guy in Long Beach that stole a slice of pizza and ended up getting struck out because that petty theft had a possibility of violence. And, that's really stretching it. But I also find it ironic that, just a few years before this 3 strikes law came out, there was a population or a prison boom in the state of California, where they started, all these new pins started popping up in the late 80s. Wasco, Delano, Pelican Bay, New Corcoran. Coincidence, or was this a plan? I don't know. But, prior to 2009, which is around the time they started finding guys suitable and they actually started going home after serving 15, 20, 25 years, that stuff started happening. People started going home. Prior to this, there were, I've heard stories where, they would call you out for your parole suitability hearing and guys wouldn't even go because they knew that they were going to be denied. So they didn't even want to go through the motions of that, Like I said, around 2009, they started finding guys suitable and letting guys go home. Now, I looked up a couple of facts in regards to recidivism rates. And in 2005, which was the last full year I was in, I paroled in 2006, the recidivism rate was 77%, which basically means if 100 guys parole, 77 of them will be back within, I think it was 3 years. Well, and according to the latest numbers that I was able to find, which was from 2018, 2019, the recidivism rate is now 47%, which is down significantly. So now only 47, which is, it's still high. Almost half still go, end up back in prison, but it's down 30%. Now, is that due to them releasing lifers? I mean, I think that if you think about it, somebody that did 20 years behind the wall or more and never thought that they were going to get out and had given up all hope, you give them a second chance, they're not going to mess that up. Or, they're going to do their best not to mess it up, I should say. I mean, the thing is, they didn't just start kicking people out. Like, you still had to do certain things before you went to the parole board. And basically, going to the parole board, basically, you go, you sit down, there's like a captain, or like, I don't know, I've never been in front of a parole board. Like, I didn't do much time. But as I understand it, you go before like a 3-person panel, and it's almost like a court hearing. Like, the DA can come and testify against you, and family members, if it was like a unaliving or something, can come and say why they don't think that you should get out. And you go, and it's an opportunity for the inmate to present themselves as this reformed person, showing remorse, getting more in touch with themselves, I guess you would say, as far as knowing who you are as a person, being able to show that you did self-help classes. You could do NAAA. I heard that there's Gangsters Anonymous even that you could go to. There's college courses that are available in a lot of these places. And, this isn't always easy to do on a level 4 yard because, like in my time, like a lot of these places were highly political yards, and education and stuff like that. You needed to be out there on the yard basically and be able to take care of business. And even if you were going to classes or something, if something pops up, like, you still got to ride for your people. So, you could be halfway through a semester on a college course and end up in ADSEG or the SHU, and that stuff pretty much goes out the window. So it wasn't necessarily easy for a lot of these guys, but and also you had to be write-up free for a predetermined amount of time. You get write-ups, also known as 115s, for all kinds of various things. You could be making pruno, you can get caught with a weapon, it could be assault on an inmate type of thing. It could even be stabbing an inmate type of thing, or even worse, so you had to go through all of that process in order to just get to the board basically. And then if you did all those things, then you had action basically. And like I said before, the thing is, a lot of these guys, like, they did so much time behind the wall, like more than half their life has been spent in prison. And now that they're older, into their 40s or even 50s, it's a young man's game in there basically. Like, those are the guys that typically are first in line to raise their hand to go put in some work or whatever. Not to say that the old guys don't get it too. Don't get it twisted, but you have to overcome a lot to get to the point to even be found suitable, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I would say personally, actually, before I wrap this up, now they're moving death row inmates out of San Quentin. And this is where my opinion differs a bit. a lot of these guys are getting their sentences converted to LWOP, life without parole. And, my stance on the death penalty is if it's overwhelmingly clear that they did what, a lot of times these are very heinous crimes. There's overwhelming evidence like videotape or DNA or something that, makes it undisputable. Like, I don't necessarily disagree with the death penalty. And if that sentence is converted to LWOP, then I don't necessarily think these guys should be getting parole. Like, I'm all for second chances and everything, don't get me wrong. But, crimes against children, women, sexual deviance type of stuff, like, I got no love for any of that stuff. So, but I would say if, you were young, gang banging, and, you got a hot one or something, there's definitely room to change and, become a productive member of society again, especially 25 years behind the wall. Like, I think a lot of them people can change, and a lot of people have. I mean, if you look at YouTube, there's several YouTubers who have basically done life sentences and came back and now are putting out a positive message on YouTube. I mean, you could check out Dub's channel. You could check out 16 to Life, Chill. Like, both of those guys had life sentences basically, and now they're out spreading a positive message. And shout out to those guys. If you haven't checked out their channels, you should check them out. So, based on recidivism rates, if I could speak, I think lifers should get a second chance if they have truly reformed. If they're up there faking the funk, then maybe not. But I mean, I went to prison. I wasn't there that long, and I knew when I got out it was time to make a change. So imagine going in there and sitting down for 25 years, like half of your life is gone. Like, why wouldn't you want to come out and do positive things like some of the people I mentioned already? So that's my video for the day. If you enjoy this sort of content, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit that notification bell so that anytime I drop a new video or go live, you will be notified, and hit all. That way, you'll definitely be notified. And share the video. Also, you can become a channel member. Take a look at that. I have exclusive content up right now that you can go check out if for members only. And, we'll be doing some other things in the near future here. So I hope everybody's having a great day. Family, fitness, and freedom are the things that delivered me from my addiction and being in these sort of places. And they can help you as well. And don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing.